Hello my dear students, how are you? Hope you all are doing good at your home. So in our previous video we have discussed about the structure and function of human heart. But this time we are going to discuss about the types of blood vessels, and we will discuss the role of pacemaker, which is a special tissue of the heart, and at the last we will discuss about the lymphatic system and its role in our body. So are you ready to know more about the circulatory system? Let's begin in this chapter. Let's talk about the role of blood vessels in the circulatory system. Dear student, as you know that the blood in our body flows through a network of tubes called the blood vessels. So blood vessels form a network of tubes which carry blood away from and toward the heart. So blood vessels is a network of pipes through which blood flows in all directions in our body. Therefore, we can say that these blood vessels play an important role in transporting blood to and from the heart in all the directions. Let's talk about the types of blood vessels present in a human body. So, blood vessels can be categorized into three types: arteries, veins, and capillaries. We will try to find out the differences among these three types of blood vessels present in the human circulatory system. As you can clearly see the diagrams of an artery here, a vein and a capillary. Let's discuss more about these types of blood vessels. First, we should talk about the arteries. Arteries are the muscular, elastic and thick wall tubes that carries oxygenated blood to the various body tissues from the heart. But there is an exception. Pulmonary arteries carries the deoxygenated blood in them. So pulmonary artery is a type of exception. Dear student, this is a diagram of human heart, and here you can see that this is a pulmonary artery, and this artery is emerges out from the right ventricle, and you know very well that right ventricle is an area which is filled with the deoxygenated blood, means, so that is why the pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood inside it. So pulmonary artery is a type of exception. Okay, next point. Blood flows inside the arteries with a high pressure. Blood flows inside the arteries with a very high pressure. We will discuss that why blood flows inside the arteries with a high pressure. Okay, next point. Arteries cannot be seen easily because they are located deep under the skin. Veins can be easily located, but arteries can't be, because they are situated very deep inside the skin. Inside space, next point, inside space or lumen is very narrow. This is the inside space which is called the lumen, through which the blood flows. And why here the lumen is narrow as compared to the veins? Because the wall of an artery is very thick. Because arteries have the thick walled structure, so due to the thick wall, the inside space, which is lumen, get automatically decreases. So due to the less space, the blood pressure get increased automatically. So that is why the blood flows inside the arteries with a high pressure, and to withstand with the high pressure, the thick wall is very necessary feature which remain present inside the arteries. And moreover, arteries do not have any walls in them. Why they do not require any walls? Because blood flows with very high pressure, so there is no chance of backflow of the flowing blood. So that is why they do not require any walls in them. Let's discuss about the veins. Veins. On the other hand, veins are the thin-walled tubes that carries deoxygenated blood from different part of the body back to the heart. There is also an exception, which is pulmonary vein. In this diagram you can see that these are the pulmonary veins that are 4 in number, 2 at each side. These two veins are present at the left side and these two pulmonary veins are present at the right side, but they remain attached with the left atrium and they are coming from the lungs. They are coming from the lungs, so that is why they carry oxygenated blood within them. So this is an exception of veins. Inside the veins, blood flows with very low pressure. I will discuss why blood flows with a low pressure here. Veins can be seen easily as they are greenish blue tube like structure under our wrist and hands. We can easily see the veins. These are the bluish or greenish structure that can be easily seen under our wrist, and they can be located, they do not located deep inside under the skin, so they can be easily traced. Last point, inside space or lumen is wide. Why here the space inside space or lumen is very wide? Because the veins have very thin walled. So due to the thin walled, the inside space or lumen get automatically increased, and there is much space is present to flow the blood very easily, so the pressure get reduced. So that is why blood flows with the low pressure inside the veins, and they consist wall because blood flows here with the low pressure. That is why special types of walls are present here inside the arteries that prevent these are the walls. Suppose these are the walls that remain present inside the veins, so these special walls prevents the backflow of the blood, because blood is flowing with very low pressure here, so there may be chances arise of backflow. So to prevent this, veins have walls in them. Next, we should talk about the capillaries. Okay, capillaries are the microscopic vessels. Capillaries are the microscopic vessels. They are the terminal branches of an artery and join to form a vein. In this diagram you can see that this is an artery, and from an artery capillaries are arising further, and when these capillaries further join together, they will turn out to be a vein. So arteries carry oxygenated blood, so from here oxygen will transport it to the body tissues. Suppose these are the body tissues, these are the cells of the body tissue. So these cells will easily get the oxygen through the capillaries, and when these cells produces the carbon dioxide, so the deoxygenated blood will further transported back to the lungs through these veins. So capillaries have the single cell walls made up of squamous epithelial cells. So due to this, it enables the diffusion of oxygen, carbon dioxide and other materials into the cell. Let me tell you one more important point about the capillaries. So as you know that capillaries are the terminal branches of an artery. So when an artery is bifurcated, it will form many arterioles. When further arterioles bifurcated, this will form the capillaries. This will form the thin network of capillaries to exchange the material between the body tissues and the vessels, and when these capillaries join together, they will form venule, and when further venules join together, they will form a big vein that carries the deoxygenated blood with it. Next, we should discuss the structure of the pacemaker, which is a special tissue of the heart. Certain tissues in the heart concerned with the initiation means generation of impulse, and the propagation means conduction of the heart are called the pacemakers. So these are the special tissues that is responsible for the initiation and propagation of the heart. So these tissues are known as pacemaker, or these are also known as nodular tissues. Okay, it is located in the sinoarterial node. Sinoarterial node. This node is found at the point where the superior vena cavae drains in the right atrium. So in this structure you can see that this is the superior vena cavae. So where the superior vena cavae get attached with the right atrium. So here just below the opening of the superior vena cavae, a special type of nodular structure, nodular tissue is found, which is known as SA node. SA means sinoatrial node, which is known as the pacemaker of the heart. Why it is known as pacemaker of heart? Let us discuss this point. So this reason means SA node initiate the heartbeat, thus it is called the pacemaker. So this reason produces some kind of impulses which is responsible for the initiation of the heartbeat. At regular intervals, a wave of contraction originate at the SA node and spread all along the atria. So when SA node spreads the wave of contraction, so this contraction will uniformly spread to all the arterial part, so which is later on picked up by a similar mass of tissue, and this mass of tissue is known as atrioventricular node or AV node. Here you can see that this node is present at the junction of the right atrium and right ventricle, so that is why this node is known as AV node or atrioventricular node. So situated in the right atrium, at the base of the right atrium. So the wave of electric impulse from the AV node spreads along the bundle of His, both of its branches and Purkinje fiber, thus exciting the muscles of ventricle, result in the overall ventricular contraction. So in this diagram you can see that from the SA node, the wave of contraction generated first, then it will further migrated toward or received by the AV nodes, then the same electric impulse or wave of the contraction is received or transferred through the ventricular region by the bundle of His. Bundle of His is further divided into left and right branches, and at the end the lower region of the bundle of His consists of many thread-like structure which are known as the Purkinje fibers. These fibers are responsible for the transmission of the impulse throughout the lower region of the human heart. Next, we will discuss about the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is another type of transportatory system or transport system in the human body. How it works? Let's find out. It is a complex network of lymphoid organs. Okay, we will talk about the lymphoid organs and their examples: lymph node, lymphatic ducts, lymph capillaries, and lymph vessel. So basically it is a network of various components that produces and transports the lymph fluid from the tissue to the circulatory system. So it is a kind of exchange system that works in between the tissue and circulatory system. Lymph. What is lymph? Because lymph is a kind of fluid that is present inside the lymphatic system that keep on flowing through the lymphatic system. So lymph is a kind of circulatory fluid like blood, but it runs in a lymph capillaries only. It is colorless. On the other hand, blood is colorful red. Okay, it contains the most of ingredients similar to blood, but it is a colorless fluid. Okay, lymph does not. Why it is colorless? Because it does not contain any RBC. Lymph mainly contains WBC and plays an important role in fighting the infection. Here you can see the diagram through which representing the lymphatic system, and so these are the blood like vessels, but these are the lymph vessels that spreads throughout the body. Okay, at some point these lymph vessel get nodular, so that particular area is known as lymph node. So this is the internal structure of a lymph node. So as you can see that lymph finally joins, okay, into the blood capillaries. So here you can see that this is the structure of a blood capillaries, and these are the lymph vessels. These are the blood capillaries and these are the lymph vessels. So this is the internal part of a lymph node. So the lymph finally migrated from the lymph node to the blood vessels. Okay, next let us discuss about the function of the lymphatic system. So lymphatic system collects waste material from the tissues and transport to the various excretory organ. It supplies nutrition and oxygen to those parts where blood cannot reach. You must be well aware that blood only keep on flowing inside the blood vessel. Blood will never come out from the blood vessel. So the area which are far away from the blood vessels, so to that area the lymph vessel supplies the nutrition and oxygen. Okay, next point. Next function of the lymphatic system is it drains away the excess tissue fluid, so thus it keep on maintaining the fluid balance in our body. Lymph returns proteins to the blood from the tissue spaces. Okay, fats from the intestine are also absorbed through the lymph. Okay, you must be well aware when you must have studied the digestive system, where I had discussed that fat are the larger molecule that cannot be absorbed through the blood vessels which are present in the finger like a structure present inside the intestine, which are known as villi. So inside the villi the lymph vessels are present which are responsible for the absorption of fat from the intestine. The lymphocytes and monocytes of the lymph act as the defensive cell of the body. So lymphatic system plays very important role in our defense mechanism. Next and the last function of the lymphatic system, the lymph also removes the bacteria from the tissue. So it is a kind of excretory role in our body, because it removes the harmful substances as well as the harmful bacteria or pathogen from the tissue. So this was all about the circulatory system. So with this we have finished our first chapter, which is the circulatory system. We will discuss the next chapter in our next video. Till then, stay home, stay safe and keep learning. Thank you. Bye bye.